What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, October 16th, 2024. It's 9:35 a.m. here in Germany. This is the Insanity Report for today. And I had something else planned for today, but the thing is, the last 2 days, I think it's been, I've heard rumblings and rumors and talk about Joe Rogan hosting Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, which I think is completely bonkers for a lot of reasons. Not going to tell you why. It would, first of all, I would be all for it, for both. You know what I mean? For both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris to go on Joe Rogan. Now, I'm pretty sure that everybody in the world knows who Joe Rogan is. And if you don't, he's probably still the number one podcaster. He's like the godfather of podcasting. And the reason why he's so popular is he stays as neutral as he can on almost all issues and lets his guests basically talk. He asks questions when he thinks it's poignant, but he also is honest about the fact that he doesn't really know the answer to any of these things. That's why he has these guests on, and that's why he talks to these guests. But he's been very clear in the past that he does not want to host Donald Trump. Now, this was quite a while ago. It was a year ago or two that he said he didn't want to help Donald Trump and he didn't want to host Donald Trump. So he's been clear about that. I don't know what his reasoning for that is. It looks like lately he is coming way, way more to the side of being on Donald Trump's side. He hasn't come out and said he was going to vote for him, but I think he probably will. I think Joe Rogan, even though he wants to remain neutral and is generally, I would say, more on the left than on the right, he does see reality for what it is. He does see what's going on, and he doesn't support all of the things that the Democrats are doing. He also clearly does not support Kamala Harris. He's been clear about that. So maybe he'll sit it out completely and just not vote, but I don't know. I think he realizes that this election is important enough that sitting it out is not really an option. You know, if you're really pro your country in America, if you're really for it, then Joe Rogan should do the right thing and make sure that his vote is counted for Donald Trump. Now, whether or not he's going to do that or not, I don't know. But I think that he would be way more open to hosting Donald Trump these days than he was a year ago. So I think that probably could happen, right? What I don't think is going to happen is that Kamala Harris is going to go on Joe Rogan. Not because Joe Rogan wouldn't do it, you see? Not because Joe Rogan wouldn't do it. I think Joe Rogan would love to do it. But the problem is Kamala Harris if she does this, she is committing political suicide. Because she's going to have to sit there for 3 hours and answer actual questions. Up till now, Kamala Harris has been on only shows, like mainstream media shows, and the podcasts she's been on are all podcasts that are leaned towards her to begin with, and are all basically throwing softballs at her. Now, there's one interview she did on 60 Minutes. I get it. This guy was a good interviewer. I forgot what his name is. But 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris was better because, you know, the journalist made her look like a fucking idiot, which she is. And he did that not to piss her off, not to be mean. I think they did it with the intention to show to the world that they can be hard-hitting and so that they could also get Donald Trump. Because in the end, for 60 Minutes, it's all about the ratings, right? And having Donald Trump on would give you a hell of a lot of ratings. And they want Donald Trump to come on, and Donald Trump has already said he's not going to do it. And so I think that they hit hard at Kamala in that interview, even though, as far as I know, they edited some stuff at the end anyway. I mean, she even looked even dumber than she did on the interview you saw. Apparently, they had to adjust some things in the end anyway. So they hit kind of hard at her. That was the only interview I've ever seen where Kamala Harris was actually put under any amount of scrutiny or any amount of fire. You could tell by her face she was totally pissed off that they even dared to question her in any way to make her look stupid. But I don't think they did that because they are unbiased. I think they did that in order to lure Donald Trump there and prove to the world, hey, look, we can be neutral, we can be hard-hitting, we can ask the right questions, we don't do softballs. And they thought that maybe that would make Donald Trump go on, but so far that hasn't worked. So other than that, all the interviews and all of the podcasts, all of the shows that Kamala Harris has done have been all softballs, all easygoing. They've never questioned her on anything. They've never pushed her on anything, never asked any real questions, never made her, you know, admit to certain policies or nothing. You know, we've seen it all. They, you know, call her daddy and the whole fucking shit. It's all ridiculous, right? So the idea that she would subject herself to go on Joe Rogan, and I don't know Joe Rogan personally, but I've watched, hundreds of hours of Joe Rogan. And what I do know about Joe Rogan is he is not going to agree in advance to any sort of softball issue. He's not going to agree to not touch certain subjects. So the fact is, if the Kamala Harris goes on Joe Rogan, she's going to be in the lion's den. You know what I mean? She's going to be in the lion's den. And I'm quite sure that she is not ready for that. She is not ready for that, right? There's no way that she is going to be able to survive an interview on Joe Rogan for 3 hours answering actual questions, And I don't know if the idea that's being floated around is that they're going to go on together, Kamala and Trump. I seriously doubt it, because then it'd be more like a debate style thing, which would be even more hilarious. But that is going to be a show.
End of tailback in 100 meters.
Sorry. That's going to be a show that you're not going to want to miss, for real. You know what I mean? You're going to want to see this, because there's just no way that this is going to turn out well for Kamala. And that's why I think it's not true, because I don't think that her campaign is dumb enough to let her get on.
End of tailback in 500 meters.
To let her get on Joe Rogan. That would be completely ridiculous. She's going to basically, if she does it, her campaign is basically over. There's no way she's going to win. There's no way she's going to win now in a real and fair election. We all know that. You know what I mean? But that would just make it, she might as well just drop out, if she was going to go on Joe Rogan. I really don't see it happening. I really don't think it's going to happen. And even with Trump, it's kind of iffy, because the thing is, Joe Rogan has not come out and said anything about it. He has not come out and said anything about it. Now, I think that it's the outside world kind of pressuring Joe Rogan to do this, right? And I think he'll do it for Trump. And I think he would also do it for Kamala, for sure. I just don't think Kamala is really going to do it, you see? Maybe they're counting on that, because I think that they think that only right-wing maniacs listen to Joe Rogan. So Kamala Harris loses nothing, in their opinion, by getting on there, because she'll just be playing to a crowd that already won't vote for her. So she's not going to change any minds, but then she can still say, look, I even went on Joe Rogan, so I'm not trying to duck and hide questions, guys. I went on Joe Rogan. So to her side, she's going to be like an ultimate hero, because she stepped in the lion's den. But they're counting on nobody from the left watching it if she does, which I think is a mistake. You know what I mean? I think that's a mistake. I think there's a lot of left-leaning people that would vote for Kamala Harris that also watch Joe Rogan. I think they're underestimating that if they're really considering putting her on this show. It would be hilarious. It would be hilarious. It would be gold. It would be podcast gold that nobody should miss, because then you're going to watch Kamala Harris melt in front of your eyes like the Wicked Witch of the East, right in front of your face in live time. It's going to be devastating. Donald Trump will be able to handle it no problem. Of course, Joe is going to go at Trump. You know what I'm saying? He's going to demand answers. He's going to ask tough questions. He will. You know what I mean? He will, because he knows that that's what he should do. He's an honest stand-up guy, and he does that with all of his guests, and he's going to do it also with Donald Trump. But Donald Trump, as we know, will be able to handle that no problem. It'll be a cakewalk for him, and it will greatly, greatly improve his numbers in the election polls. Because a lot of people want him to go on Joe Rogan. A lot of people want Joe Rogan to host Trump. And to make that happen, oh man, there's going to be a lot of people wow about it. And they're going to see that Donald Trump is genuine, and they're going to see it. And they're going to see that Kamala Harris is disingenuous. It's going to be maddening. Really, it's going to be awesome. But again, guys, Joe Rogan has not said anything about this. He has not come out and said that this is happening. Trump said it was going to happen. I haven't heard Kamala say it was going to happen, but I hear the rumors about it. And for the reasons I just told you, I seriously doubt that Kamala Harris is going to go on. I do think that Donald Trump probably will. But can you imagine Kamala Harris on Joe Rogan? I mean, really? It's going to be great, guys. If it's going to happen, once it's confirmed, I'm going to definitely let everybody know, although it's not going to be a secret. I won't be letting anybody know anything new because I'm sure that everyone is paying attention to this. Everybody is like, oh my God, it's going to happen. Is it going to happen? So I'll be curious to see if it happens. Don't think it's going to. But that is an insane report. You're going to have to give me that, right? It's an insane report to hear that both of them might be getting on Joe Rogan. It's going to be fun. But remember, guys, Kamala Harris is an empty suit, right? She's a puppet. She's a marionette. It doesn't have, for the Democrats, they've proven that it's not about the candidate for them. It's about the puppet that has to be the face of the party for this moment. And Joe Biden wasn't going to be the face anymore because his brain is melted. You know what I mean? So they knew it. They saw it happen at the debate. They saw, okay, this is not going to work. They had to get rid of him. They cooed him out. And then they installed Kamala Harris like, you know, the daughter of the queen or something. You know what I mean? Something like that. It's totally weird. Not democratic at all. Nobody voted for her, you know, and everybody basically hated her until like 5 minutes ago when she was installed as the presidential candidate nominee. So it's real weird how the Democrats view democracy. I mean, the rest of the world doesn't really look at it like democracy. Most citizens in America don't really see it as democracy. It's really not, is it? You know what I mean? It really isn't. You know, you don't just install a candidate without a primary. That's the most undemocratic thing you could possibly do. So we all know...
End of tailback in 300 meters.
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry about the interruptions. So it's going to happen one more time in 200 meters, okay? So we all know that Kamala Harris is an empty suit. You know, she has no policies. She's got no real issues that she wants to tackle. And if she does, she hasn't told anybody about them. She's lied about pretty much everything. And we got to remember...
End of tailback in 100 meters.
We got to remember, she's part of the administration now. So she could have done a whole bunch of shit in 3 years. And she hasn't done squat. Not even the job that she was nominated to do, which was be the border czar. That failed completely. Unless, of course, you look at it from the Democratic perspective, where it, you know, was a great success because they got 12 million illegal immigrants across the border. So it depends, I guess, which side you look at it from. But hey, we're going to find out soon enough if this is really going to happen. But my prediction is no. So that's it. That's the Insanity Report for today. Guys, if you want to get my stuff automatically sent to your inbox directly when it comes out. So that's the Insanity Report, the weekly rant, Q&As, and all the articles I write. You can get them into your inbox directly as soon as they're published if you subscribe to the Substack below. Below are the links. You can do it for free. You can do it for $5 a month, which I would appreciate greatly, of course. And if you're watching this on any other platform, go ahead and follow me there. But it would be best for you, best for me, if you just go to it'sallaboutlogic.substack.com. That's It's All About Logic, all one word, .substack.com. Subscribe to me there. That way you get all my content centrally. It's centralized. I know we don't like centralized, but in this case it's good because you get all the content directly sent to you in your email instead of having to wait till it gets on social media or wait for a notification that may never come because I'm getting throttled or censored or whatever somewhere else. So please do subscribe, hook it up, share this around if you like it, if you think it's fun, if you think it's good, if you think it's knowledge that people should know. And let's keep our fingers crossed, guys, that this is going to really happen. Even if it is only Trump, it's still going to be epic. But if Kamala also goes, wow, it's going to be mega, mega epic. And I think we should all keep our fingers crossed that it actually will happen. Guys, have a great day, and we'll see you on tomorrow's Insanity Report.